Hello YouTube, my name is Nero and today we have some Call of Duty Black Ops 3 playing a bit of domination here on the map Nuketown, running around with the XR2 assault rifle. And what I wanted to do with this video was give you guys a short little video talking about the best sensitivity and the best button layouts to run, and just giving you guys some general tips and tricks as to how to control your character a little bit better while playing here in Black Ops 3. Very often I get the question, Nero, what sensitivity do you run? Nero, what button layout do you play on, so on and so forth. And I figured I'd go ahead and answer those questions here in this video, as well as once again give you guys some helpful tips and pointers as to the best way to control your character here in Black Ops 3. First things first, let's hop into a private match here against bots on the map Redwood, just because it's easier against bots. They don't really fight back. It's easier to make a point. We go here to options, we go here to controls, and you see that both my sensitivities are on 7, and the reason for that is I feel as though I get the best of both worlds while playing on the middle of the road sensitivity, whereas if I jump this all the way up to insane, which is 14, the highest sensitivity in the game, I feel as though it moves way too quickly. Like, look how fast I can spin around and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people that really like having the highest sensitivity in the game. A lot of people do it because they feel as though it's like the highest skill-based sensitivity in the game. I think a lot of people like it because they can always turn on people a lot easier. Like if somebody starts shooting at them from behind, they can instantly jump, turn around, and bam, because their sensitivity is so ridiculously high. But for me personally, I wouldn't recommend this for most players, nor would I recommend the opposite end of the spectrum, the lowest sensitivity in the game, because as you see here, we're going to drop this all the way down here to 1, which is very low, and that's almost misleading right there. They should put stupidly low, because look how slow this is, guys. This is me trying to do a 360 as fast as I can with the lowest sensitivity in the game. It's ridiculously low, like so slow that it's like, what's the point of even doing this? It actually just impedes my ability to move my character. Like making a slight little adjustment at the angle at which you're moving your character is ridiculously difficult while playing on 1 sensitivity. So we're actually going to bump this up here to a 3, which I feel as though is probably going to be a bit more viable for a lot of players. So that's the high end of the spectrum, and that's the low end of the spectrum, right? 14 and 1. I play on 7 right down the middle of the road because I want to get the best of both worlds. The reason why a lot of people like to play on 14 sensitivity is because they feel as though they have the fastest reaction time. They feel as though they can turn on people quickly. They feel as though it's pretty skill-based, so on and so forth. And the reason why people play on super low sensitivities is because it's very easy to aim if you have low sensitivity. If you're trying to take somebody out at a super long range and you're using a very low sensitivity, you're going to find it's a lot easier to take people out at long ranges with your low sensitivity, because going back to the extreme example, again, if you're playing on 14 and you're trying to take somebody out across the map with like your ICR, for example, and if you have a slight twitch of your thumb, suddenly the ICR is like pointing up in the sky and whatnot. It's hard to aim at super long ranges with a high sensitivity, whereas it's very easy with a low sensitivity. And the opposite is true when you're at close range. Where at close range, it's very easy to aim if you have a high sensitivity, because it's so easy to move back and forth between targets very close. Whereas if you have a super slow sensitivity, it's like, wow, I can't even like get over to the guy fast enough. Like the guy does a slight juke on you or something, you can't even aim at him. So I definitely like the middle of the road, the 7 sensitivity. And that's typically what I play on in most Call of Duty games. Usually the sensitivity goes between 1 and 10. I'm usually at a 4 or 5, but since here in the Black Ops 3 it's between 1 and 14, I bumped that up to a 6 or a 7. Right now I'm playing on 7 because it feels more comfortable, but occasionally I'll drop it down to a 6. And that's my advice for you guys. Try to play a sensitivity that's like in the middle of the road if you feel as though you're losing a lot of your gunfights in Black Ops 3. And just as a general guideline, try to err closer to the lower sensitivities, because it's a lot easier to aim with those ones as compared to super high sensitivities where, while yes, you may have some advantages close range, the majority of your gunfights are going to be medium to long range, and high sensitivities kind of make you suffer at those ranges. The other tip I want to give you guys here in this video is actually about your button layout. So here we are in another private match. We're playing here on the map Combine using the KRM-262, and the button layout I'm going to be using is going to be tactical. Now, I've been playing on the tactical button layout since 2008. I first learned to do it in World at War when everybody started drop shotting, and I wanted to be one of the cool kids, so I learned how to do it too. And the difference between your tactical layout and your default layout is simply they take your crouch and prone button, which by default is going to be your B button or your circle button, depending on your platform, and they take that and they put it onto your stick, your right stick, which is usually your melee button. So from now on, you're going to have to melee by pressing the B or circle button, and then you can crouch and prone and do all that stuff by pressing it on your right stick. Now, I recommend this for a lot of players for a number of reasons. Number one is you have full control of your character, with the exception of jumping, just with your joysticks. You know, in Black Ops 3, I'm sure you see a lot of people that when they have shotguns, they like to slide into a kill, or they slide into a kill if they're using a knife. And the reason why that's so nice if you're playing on tactical is because you don't have to take your thumb off of the right joystick whatsoever, right? You just press down the right joystick to slide, then you can continuously aim while you're sliding and things like that. It definitely just makes things a lot easier as compared to the default layout, whereas if you wanted to slide, you're going to have to take your thumb completely off of the joystick and put it onto the B or circle button, and during that time you can't actually aim with your weapon, and it's a lot more difficult if you're playing on the default layout, right? There's actually a ton of different button layouts here in Black Ops 3 for you to choose from, and a lot of people play on a lot of different ones. I know my friend Cypher has made the transition to bumper jumper for whatever reason. I don't know why he wants to do that. I'm not making any transitions anytime soon, guys, because I am not going to go ahead and try to rewire, almost 10 years worth of muscle memory here, so I'm not going to be doing that. But playing on tactical is what I've been doing since like 2008. It is a pretty good way to play, if you ask me. It makes it so if you're trying to drop shot, it makes it so drop shotting is pretty easy, although you don't see a lot of people doing that in Black Ops 3. But above all, it makes it so you have nearly full control of your character with just your left and your right stick, which is actually a pretty big deal in my own personal opinion. Now, of course, you still can't jump by pressing these buttons, right? That's not something you can do. You can try changing out your layouts again, so on and so forth, but it will give you the ability to move, aim, shoot, slide, drop, do all that stuff, right? All with just your left and right stick, which is actually a pretty good thing in my own personal opinion, so I definitely recommend that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to conclude this video. Just 2 little tips on sensitivity as well as your button layout. I get these questions so often that I figured, hey, I'll make an entire video for it, and hopefully you guys all found it helpful and informative. If you did, drop me a rating, and it'll help the video grow, and it'll help my channel grow as well. And let me know in the comments, what do you guys run for a sensitivity, and what do you guys run for a button layout? Because I know there's a lot of really weird ones out there. I know there's some ones out there where people like to play on super weird ones, like they like to do inverted controls and stuff like that because they're just more comfortable with that. Like, what button layout, what sensitivity do you guys run? Let us know about that. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Once again, I hope you guys found it helpful and informative. If you did, drop me a rating. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.